Welcome children. We are discussing the chapter Cell Cycle and Cell Division. This is chapter 10 of class 11th biology. In our previous session, we have already discussed what is cell cycle and what are the different phases of cell cycle. Today in this session, we will discuss mitosis. Let us start our discussion. In our previous session, we have discussed that the cell cycle consists of two phases, that is interphase and M phase. The interphase is the preparatory phase or resting phase in between two successive mitotic division, and the interphase is followed by M phase. So in interphase, the cell prepares itself for division, and M phase is the most dramatic period of cell cycle during which the reorganization of all components of the cell takes place. And this M phase it is otherwise known as mitosis, even though the division is of two types, mitotic type and meiotic type. But most common type of cell division is mitosis. That's why the M phase is known as mitosis or mitotic division. In mitotic division or mitosis, the parent cell divides into two daughter cells, and these daughter cells have the chromosome number equal to that of the parent cell. So it is called equational division. That means if the parent cell has 46 chromosomes, when it divides to form two daughter cells, each daughter cell also contains 46 chromosomes. That means the number of chromosomes is same in both parent cell and the daughter cell. Hence it is called equational division. Now this mitosis is divided into two processes are taking place during mitosis. One is karyokinesis and cytokinesis. Karyokinesis means the division of the nucleus. So first the nucleus divides, then it is followed by cytokinesis or division of the cytoplasm. The karyokinesis involves four phases, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. So we will discuss these phases one by one in details. So here in this picture, children, you can see that this is the cell cycle, the graphical representation of cell cycle. You can see that, as I said you, that interphase constitute 90% of the total time period of cell cycle. So the interphase consists of G1, S and G2, during which the cell prepares itself for mitosis. And now after G2, the cell enters into M phase. Now in M phase, as I said you, the M phase involves the division of nucleus first, and then it is followed by the division of the cytoplasm. So nuclear division is known as karyokinesis, which involves prophase, metaphase, anaphase and then telophase. And when the telophase is taking place, simultaneously the cytokinesis also starts. Now let us discuss the four phases of karyokinesis and the key events taking place during these phases. The first phase of karyokinesis is prophase, during which the chromosomal material condenses. So in interphase, the chromosomal material, that is DNA and the histone protein, are present in network-like structures, fiber-like structures, that is called chromatin fiber. Now as the cell enters into prophase, gradually this chromosomal material starts condensing to form a structure that is called chromosome. And now these chromosomes are composed of two chromatids attached together at the centromere. And the centrosome, which is present at one of the pole of the nucleus, has already been divided into two centrosomes during G2 phase. And now this centrosome starts moving towards the opposite pole. And besides that, the centrosome radiates out microtubules called asters. And those microtubules which connects the two centrosomes are called spindle fibers. So the spindle fibers and the asters together constitute the mitotic apparatus. Very, very important. And what is the difference between aster and the spindle fiber? Asters are the radiating microtubules from the centrosome. And what are the spindle fibers? Spindle fibers are also the microtubules which connects the two centrosome. And at the end of the prophase, in the cytoplasm, the Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum and nucleolus and nuclear envelope are not visible. Let us see it pictorially. So, you can compare the structure of cell during G2 phase and prophase. So, G2 is the last phase of interphase, during which you can see that the centrosome has been divided into two and the chromosomal materials are present in the form of chromatin fiber, diffused fiber in the nucleus. Now, what are the changes taking place in the prophase? The centrosome, which has been divided into two centrosomes, now moves towards the opposite pole. So, you can see that this is one pole of the nucleus. The other centrosome moves towards the other pole of the nucleus. Now, this centrosome produces the radiating microtubules, these small microtubules, these are called asters. These are the asters which are produced from the centrosome and they are connecting each other and they are called spindle fiber. So there are two things, one is aster, other is spindle fiber. The spindle fibers are those microtubules which connect the two centrosome and asters are simply the small radiating microtubules. Now, what are the other change? The nuclear envelope starts disappearing. Then the condensation of the chromatin materials takes place. You can see that the chromatin materials get their identity. They form separate unit structure that is called chromosome. And the chromosome consists of two chromatids. Here you can see a very thin line is there. So it consists of two chromatids and the chromatids are joined at the centromere. So this point is centromere at which the two chromatids are joined with each other. So what are the key events? The key events are that the centrosome moves towards the opposite pole. The centrosome produces the asters and the spindle fibers which together constitutes the mitotic apparatus. The nuclear envelope and the nucleolus starts disappearing. The chromatin fiber or the chromosomal material condenses to form the chromosomes and each chromosome consists of two chromatids joined at the structure known as centromere. So these are the key events of prophase. Now the cell enters into metaphase, that is early metaphase or pro-metaphase. Let us see what are the events that takes place during metaphase. So in metaphase, the nuclear envelope and the nucleolus disappears completely. The chromosomes are condensed completely and the chromosomes are more clear. So, to study the structure of chromosome, the metaphasic chromosomes are always studied. And in the, as I said that in the chromosome, there are two chromatids which are joined together by the centromere. On the surface of the centromere, two disc-shaped structures are present that is called kinetochore. and the spindle fibers are attached to the kinetochores, and since the cytoplasm, the nuclear membrane is disappeared, the chromosomes initially move freely in the cytoplasm. But as soon as the spindle fiber connects to the kinetochore, they held the chromosome at the equator and they align the chromosome at the equatorial plane, that is called metaphasic plate. Metaphase plate. Okay. So, what is the most important characteristic feature of metaphase? It is that all the chromosomes coming to lie at the equator with one chromatid of each chromosome connected by its kinetochore to the spindle fibers. Okay, and that plane where the alignment of chromosome is taking place is called metaphasic plane. Let us see the picture. So after prophase, it enters into the early metaphase, that is pro-metaphase. You can see that still the fragments of nuclear membrane is there. Then you can see that the chromosomes are more condensed as compared to the prophase chromosome. The centromeres are clear, and on the centromere the kinetochores, the disc-shaped area, are present. The spindle fibers are attached to the kinetochores. Now coming to the late metaphase, you can see that with the help of these spindle fibers, the chromosomes are aligned at the equator, and this is called metaphase plate. And the nuclear membrane is no more existing, the nucleolus is also not existing. Both of them are completely disappeared. Now the next phase is, so these are the key features which I have already discussed. Then the next phase is anaphase. When the cell enters into anaphase after the metaphase, the chromosomes which were arranged at the metaphasic plate now split simultaneously and they become the two daughter chromosomes. So the two chromatids which were held together with the help of a centromere now splits off to form daughter chromosomes. And these daughter chromosomes start migrating towards the opposite pole due to the withdrawal of the spindle fibers. And as each chromosomes move away from the equatorial plane, the centromere of each chromosome remains directed towards the pole and the arms of the chromosome facing towards the equator. So this is the most common event and most important event. What are the events? The centromere splits and chromatids separates to form the daughter chromosome. The daughter chromosome moves to the opposite pole, during which the centromere faces towards the pole and arms faces towards the equator. Now see the picture. This is anaphase. So in metaphase, the chromosomes were aligned at the metaphasic plate or at the equator, and each chromosome consists of two chromatids. Now what happens? The centromere splits. As a result, the two chromatids separates, and now each chromatid has its own identity, and now they are known as daughter chromosome. And now the spindle fibers are withdrawn by the centrosome and the chromosome starts moving towards the opposite pole. So here you can see that as the chromosome moves towards the opposite pole, the centromere faces towards the pole and the arms faces towards the equator. Then next phase and the last phase of the karyokinesis is telophase. So it is the final stage of karyokinesis during which the chromosomes which started moving towards the opposite pole during anaphase now reach the opposite pole. The chromosomes lose their identity, they get decondensed, and the individual chromosomes can no longer be seen, and each set of chromatin materials tends to collect at each of the two poles. The key events includes that the chromosomes clusters at opposite spindle pole and their identity is lost, and again they become the chromatin material. Now the nuclear membrane, which started disappearing in the prophase and completely disappeared in metaphase, now reappears. The nucleolus, Golgi complex and endoplasmic reticulum, which were disappeared during prophase, are also reappeared during this phase. Now towards the end of the telophase, the division of the cytoplasm starts, and that is called cytokinesis. Let us see the picture. Now the cell has entered into the telophase. You can see that in telophase, the two set of chromosome which started moving towards opposite pole during anaphase has reached the opposite pole. There is no more spindle fiber, and you can see that the chromosomes are clustered at the pole and the nuclear membrane starts forming. The nucleolus also starts forming, and now after the completion of or completely the nuclear membrane is formed and the nucleolus is formed and the chromosome becomes the chromatin material, it forms the daughter nucleus. So two daughter nuclei are formed, and towards the end of the telophase the cytoplasm starts dividing, and that is called cytokinesis. So how the cytokinesis takes place, that we will discuss in details. So the process of cytokinesis is totally different in plant and animal cell. So let us discuss cytokinesis. But before that, let me tell you how the chromosome number in the daughter cell remains same as that of the parent cell. So here children, you see in the initially the cell has how many chromosomes? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there were 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chromosomes were there initially. So you can see in all stages till metaphase you can see 4 chromosomes. But now in anaphase you can see 8 chromosomes. Okay, and now in telophase you can see there are 2 nuclei, each nuclei with 4 chromosomes. So in this way the chromatin material, the amount of chromatin material in the daughter cell remains same as that of the parent cell, and this is possible because of the duplication of the chromatin material during the S phase of cell cycle. Now cytokinesis, the division of the cytoplasm. The cytokinesis in animal cell is totally different from that taking place in the plant cell. So let us discuss how it takes place in animal cell first. This is an animal cell. In the animal cell towards the end of the telophase, the cytokinesis takes place by the appearance of a cleavage furrow. You can see a cleavage furrow is created, and this is formed by using a ring of contractile proteins, mainly the actin and myosin protein gathered here, and they form a cleavage furrow. Okay. Then the cleavage furrow gradually increase and it deepens, and they reach each other, they touch each other, reach the center, and then the cells are pinched apart. Now you can see the complete 2 daughter cells are formed. This is how the cytokinesis taking place in animal cell. But in case of plant cell, it is bit complicated. So here you can see that this is the plant cell, as most of the plant cells are rectangular. So here I have shown a rectangular cell, and you can see this is the daughter nucleus and this is also daughter nucleus. Now what happens, this is the equator and the vesicles, there are the vesicles packaged with proteins move to the equator. So actually these vesicles are formed by the Golgi complex. So the vesicles of Golgi complex moves towards the equator and they accumulate at the equator and they fuse, the vesicles fuse together to form a tubular structure across the equator. So now you can see it forms a tubular structure. So that structure is called cell plate. So first event is that the vesicles of Golgi complex gather at the equator, then they fuse together to form a tubular structure that is called cell plate. The tubular structures also merge to form the two plasma membrane. So here you can see it can form the gradually you can see the vesicles are accumulated. Initially the tubular structure forms the middle lamella, then the other tubular structures which are accumulating on either side of the first tubular structure now forms the other layers of the cell wall. So it is made up of pectins and other substances which are deposited between the two membranes by exocytosis. From the cell only, the pectins and other substances which constitute the cell wall are released from the cytoplasm and it forms the cell wall. And cellulose is then brought to the middle lamella by exocytosis from the cytoplasm. Okay. Now you can see that the cell wall is formed adjacent to the equator. Okay. So the cell wall formation involves the deposition of the Golgi vesicles which are combined together to form a tubular structure that is called cell plate. Then the cell plate includes the plasma membrane, then the vesicles containing pectin and cellulose also combine with this, then the cell wall is formed. This is how the cell wall is formed in the plant cell. Now what is the significance of mitosis for any living organism? Mitosis results in the production of diploid daughter cells with identical genetic complement usually. I have already told you it. And mitosis helps in growth of multicellular organism and most important contribution of mitosis is the cell repair. So when a part of our body is cut, then the lost portion is regenerated by the process of mitosis. The cells of the upper layer of the epidermis, cells of the lining of the gut and the blood cells are being constantly replaced by mitosis. Mitotic divisions in the meristematic tissue, the apical and lateral cambium results in a continuous growth of the plants throughout their life. So as a whole, the mitosis helps in growth of the multicellular organism and regeneration, and in some organism like mainly the unicellular organism, the mitosis is the mode of asexual reproduction. Remember children, this is very important. This particular point is not written here, but you remember the mitosis is the mode of reproduction, mode of asexual reproduction in unicellular organism and some lower multicellular organism where the reproduction takes place by budding. Okay. So I hope I could try my level best to make your concept clear regarding the mitotic division and how the chromosome number remains constant in the daughter cell. That also I explained. So in our next session, we will be discussing the other type of cell division, that is meiosis, which is bit complicated than mitosis. So children, to understand meiosis, you have to first understand mitosis and interphase. So before attending my next session, that is meiosis, please go through the first two part of this chapter thoroughly. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video till end.